Hi, everybody. This is Jill. Thank you for coming into my kitchen. I have heard about Senate soup all my life. And I've always been curious about Senate soup, and we eat a lot of soup. So I looked it up, and there is a Senate soup. And it started out about 1900, and there was a senator from Idaho, and I wrote notes. His name was Fred Dubois, and he was from Idaho. And he was one that developed the soup. And then come along about another 3 years later, and Newt Nelson from Minnesota said, I like that soup so much, it's got to be on the Senate's dining room menu forever. And it has since 1903. The senator from Idaho, the first original recipe had mashed potatoes in it. So you could understand why Idaho mashed potatoes, right? This recipe, which is the current recipe, does not have mashed potatoes. And I have followed the recipe to the letter. I haven't added, changed, erased, nothing. So what we're going to see is what it really tastes like. And when you find out how easy it is, it'll blow your mind. So what I'm starting out with here is a pound of the little small navy beans. See, they're little tiny ones. There's navy beans, there's, little larger ones, and there's cannellini beans, but this is the smallest. And what I'm doing here is I'm kind of going through these now. This is what's called sorting or picking through. And you just kind of go through, and if there's like a little pebble in here, you'd throw that out. Or if you found a bean that looked a little funky, you'd pick that out, dark or dirty or whatever. So I'm going to continue doing this with the remainder of these beans, and then I'm going to rinse them off really good, and I'll bring you back for the next step. I have rinsed off my beans really well, drained them, put those in my pot. And I also have here a ham hock. And what I did do is I did trim off all the exterior fat on this. Ham hocks, are on the fatty side. And generally, we use more like a pork shank that we've taken all the fat off, so it's more lean. But I wanted to do this, precisely, like the recipe. So this is a ham hock that's going in there. And then we're going to pour some water in here. The recipe calls for hot water, not just water, but hot water. And this is 2 quarts. So it's 2 quarts of hot water, a pound of small navy beans. And this is, I would say, a average or small ham hock. It's not big. It's not big. Which as I said, I trimmed the fat off of that to make it a little leaner. I'm just going to give that a stir. That's it. I know, right? That's it. I know. Really? So I'm going to put this on the stove. I'm going to get it up to a boil, and then I'm going to bring it down to a simmer and just let it simmer. The recipe says it should take 2 to 3 hours, and you want those beans really soft, because I've looked at pictures of the soup, and it's very creamy, really, almost, I would say almost like a split pea soup would be. So I'm going to put the lid on it. I'm going to get it on my stove. I'm going to get it up to a boil, bring it down, and I can't recall whether it's cooked with the lid on or off. So I will make a note of that and let you know about that. So once this is all yummy and wonderful, we will come back and go to our next step. So here we are at the next day. I had read that this soup was better if you let it rest overnight in the fridge. And so I did that. And we're here at the stove now, and I have taken actually the director did it for me, took that ham hock, took all the meat off it. And as you can see in there, it's all broken up. He did a lovely job with that. And it's very, as I said, it's really thick. I had actually was tempted to put water in it, but I haven't. It's pretty thick though. And then I have, as I said, this recipe is ridiculously easy. But here, the last little bit on it was to saute an onion in a little butter, which I have done here. And it said to saute it till they were nice and soft and tender. And that's what I have done. So I'm now going to add these. Get this out of the way so I don't do a big spill job here. There we are. Sorry about that, director, getting in your way there. All right, this was about a half an onion. I think, again, I don't know whether, well, I'm making it the way I was told. We'll just have to taste it and see. All right, stir those in. I need to give it some salt. I have not put any salt. I did put a little pepper and salt in the onions, but I'm going to put a little salt in here now. That's maybe Half a teaspoon. And then maybe a little pepper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bowl and I'm going to serve a little bit of this up, and we are going to take a taste of Senate bean soup. We'll be back. So here we are, a little bowl of that here. As I said, it's very split pea, to me, kind of a split pea texture. So I'm going to take a taste of this now. We're going to see how it is. It's funny. This reminds me, my mom used to make beans and ham hocks. And it was this. I mean, she did onions and carrots and celery and all that. But it was the little white navy beans and ham hock. And that's what this is. I mean, it's a little more pureed than Mom's recipe. Randy, you want to try it?
Sure.
Okay. It's okay. I'm surprised that it's been on the Senate's menu for the... Where's the camera? You don't realize? No, it's not. Is it on me?
It's probably bouncing around as I spilled beans and ham hocks everywhere.
That's right. And what did you think? What did you think? What do you think? You know, it's beans.
Beans and ham hocks.
It's beans and ham hocks. And as I said, I'm so surprised that this is like a treasured recipe that is every day in the Senate's dining room.
But that does explain a lot.
What's that?
Well, it explains why the Senate is full of beans. And there are a bunch of gas bags.
That says it. So you have the recipe. I told you as it went. I mean, how simple can it be? A pound of beans, a ham hock, 2 quarts of water, an onion at the end, sauteed in butter. There you go. By the way, it did cook with the lid on, but it simmered, so you weren't, not doing one of these things. So give it a try if you like. See, I'd like to have comments if you do try it, or you've had Senate bean soup. I'd like to know what you thought. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you tell your friends about my channel, and I will see you soon.